I'm at a point where I have to make some drastic changes, and I feel like I'm running out of time to do it. So this is the type of video that I really don't like to make. It's embarrassing. It's not any fun talking about your own issues or failures. But I weighed the pros and cons of whether or not I should make this video, and I decided it was worth it. First, because I think maybe talking about it publicly will let you guys be like accountability partners for me and help me meet my goals. And second, I think this is the type of problem that a lot of people out there are dealing with, just like I am. So maybe I can be an inspiration to someone else at the end of this. So to tell you what I'm talking about, I've got to go back about 2 years. I went to a doctor for a routine sickness and tell him I've had a cold for like months. I can't get over this cough. And he did a full checkup on me, and among the things he wanted to talk about is that I have high blood pressure. He said, your blood pressure is high enough that we need to put you on medication. And I immediately, without thinking about it, I said, no, I'm not taking medication. I know that once you start taking that, you're probably just on it the rest of your life, and I'm not doing it. I told the doctor, said I'm going to deal with this through diet and exercise. And I did for a short time. So I left the doctor's office, made some changes, started eating more healthy, trying to exercise more, had my wife check my blood pressure, and it was down to just below the danger zone, but still not good enough. But for whatever reason, just human nature, I guess, I relaxed and didn't take it seriously anymore. So I had my blood pressure checked again about a year later, and it was even higher than it had been initially. And the doctor's like, you have to take this medication. He wrote me a prescription. I did not fill the prescription or take the medication. And they call high blood pressure the silent killer because it doesn't give you many symptoms. You can walk around and feel fairly normal, and then you have a heart attack. And my dad had a heart attack and heart surgery a couple years ago. So I'm 43 years old. And if I don't address this now, I'm not going to be here to see my grandkids grow up. So I've got to take it seriously. And beyond just the high blood pressure, obviously being overweight can cause a lot of other problems. When I was first diagnosed with high blood pressure, I was at about 250. The next year I was at 260. Now I'm at 270. It's not getting better. It's just going to get worse. And that's not the only symptom. I also notice that when I go outside to cut some firewood or work at the sawmill or whatever, I get tired very quickly. I'm not 75, I'm 43. It's a problem. Another issue is I can't really sleep in a bed because I have digestive issues, and when I lay down in bed, I'll wake up after a couple hours and I feel like I can't keep my dinner down. So I end up sitting up in a chair a lot. Messes up my sleep patterns. I ended up not sleeping at night and sleeping in the mornings. The whole thing's bad. And it's all preventable. So what am I going to do about it? I've done different diets before. I've got a juicer. For a long time, I was doing daily vegetable juices whenever I was in better shape. That was probably 8 years ago, and I worked at a job where I was physically active, and I did intermittent fasting, and I was drinking vegetable juice like every day, and I could work all day long, and I've went downhill in a hurry. So I thought about trying that again. I actually have tried that again, and I don't like drinking vegetable juice. So this leads me to the next part of this. It's not just about my health. What I want to talk about is the problems with our food system. And I'm no expert. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a, health expert. But I think we all can recognize and acknowledge that there's problems, that the majority of the food available to us, especially cheap food, is almost not even food anymore. It's a food-like substance that's filled with chemicals and preservatives and things you can't pronounce. And it's so heavily processed, it doesn't even resemble the original food. And there's no nutrition there. Our bodies are not meant to process that. An ideal diet, I would say, is to get as much food off your own land as possible. Raise some livestock, grass-fed beef, your own chickens, your own eggs, grow your own food. Small homestead sustainability. That's why it's so popular right now. If you are eating at McDonald's, or the other night at my son's basketball game, I was kind of nervous and anxious. I get wound up watching the games, and I kept going, and I was eating M&Ms and drinking Mountain Dew, and then come home and can't sleep. So there's a problem with our food system, and I think we all need to try to eat as much whole foods as we can and locally sourced foods. So what I'm doing right now, today, is committing that in the next 90 days, I will either lose a bunch of weight and drop my blood pressure through good habits, or I'm going to the doctor and I'm going to take the blood pressure medicine. At this point, I can't keep saying I'm going to fix it and then not fix it. I don't have an interest in the 48-year-old heart attack. So, what am I going to do specifically? I'm doing the carnivore diet. My friend Tony from Tony's Tractor Adventure posted on Facebook the other day that he had lost 50 pounds. I sent him a message, said, "Hey, I'm really proud of you, great job." And I started thinking I need to do the same thing. He said he was doing the carnivore diet. That was about 28 hours ago. And in the last 28 hours, I've watched about 18 hours of videos on the carnivore diet. Starting with the people who are fanatical and love it and say it's the best thing ever. It cures every health problem you've ever had. I watched a lot of their videos. Then I watched videos from people who are against it and said, don't do it, and these are the reasons you shouldn't do it, and listen to all of that. And the great thing about the internet nowadays is that YouTube isn't just guys like me giving their opinion. There are actually hundreds of medical doctors who have YouTube channels talking about health. There are people publishing blood work. There's doctors. There's proof of people who have cured all kinds of health problems just by eating a clean diet. And for me, that's going to be the carnivore diet. I started it 24 hours ago as I was watching the videos. And it's been kind of a rough first day detoxing from all the caffeine and the sugar and all the stuff I normally eat. But one day in the books. I'm going to find local farmers and get a whole beef that is grass-fed and grass-finished. And I'm going to eat a lot of steak. And as fun as that sounds, I think it'll get old pretty quick. But I think I like it better than the vegetable juice. Anyway, sorry for going into like some personal details, but I share my life every day, so I'm sharing the whole thing. I appreciate you taking time to watch. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.